there, RC Girl here. Today we're taking a look at the D1RC Land Rover Defender Camel Trophy Edition. This is seriously the most scale, ready to run RC truck that I've ever seen, that I've ever reviewed. Today we're going to take a look at it. There's actually not a lot of information about it online. D1RC reached out to me. They are a seller on AliExpress. I know what you're thinking, but seriously, hold your horses. This is the coolest thing I have unboxed in a very long time. Today we're going to take a look at it. There's actually not a ton of information about it online, not a ton of reviews on YouTube or anything. We're going to dive out into the details and then give it a run. Stay tuned. If you guys are new to my channel, welcome. Here you're gonna find RC reviews, tips and tricks, run videos, flight videos, and other things related to RC. So make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more. Also head over to my Instagram, Facebook, and Patreon. Actually, I've been doing a ton of stuff on Instagram. Took a little break from YouTube. Sorry about that, but I am back and hoping to share a lot more real soon. Huge thank you also to my patrons on Patreon for sticking with me. Thank you for all your support. All right, D1RC Land Rover Defender Camel Trophy Edition. Quick history of the Camel Trophy competition. If you guys are unaware, it began in the 1980s with international amateur drivers that would compete. Think Dakar racing, but a caravan of kitted out Land Rover Defenders. Teams were competing in the over 1,000-mile course in different challenges. They were traversing muddy swamps, hot deserts, forested terrain. It was basically the launch of overlanding. Pretty cool. So this is a very, very scale replica edition. One thing though, there's gonna be a little bit of sticker shock. So all those scale details and weathering and accessories and nice electronics do come with a bit of a price tag. This comes in two versions, the one without electronics and the one with electronics. I got the one with electronics. We're going to talk about all the specs. I'll put a link to D1RC's AliExpress page. Not a ton of details on it, mostly in Chinese, but don't let that deter you. This is actually a legit high quality rig and you definitely get what you pay for. All right, so here's what comes in the box. You got your Land Rover Defender, D90 Camel Trophy. It also comes with this little antenna here. I actually already broke it after running it. Kind of snapped off, so be careful with that. And then we have our instructions packet, which is super basic. It's basically just the exploded view of the parts. Let's take a look at the body. This is going to be a 275mm trail rig. So if you're familiar with Sorca classes, this is going to be more of a class 1 rig, smaller tires, shorter wheelbase. This is not going to be a crazy rock crawler. Yes, we're going to get some performance out of it. I think it has really nice suspension, but it's not going to be doing crazy rock crawling. This is going to be more of your scale trail rig driving. Alrighty, I don't even know where to freaking start with this thing. It is so crazy, so crazy. When I opened it up, I was like insanely impressed. I was kind of expecting a cheap little Chinese Defender, but this is definitely not the case with this thing. I guess we can start with the front. This is an unbranded Camel Spirit Edition, so I don't think there's any licensing for it, but you know, take it with a grain of salt. We got a front tire on here. You're gonna have metal guards here on the front protecting your headlights. This is also a metal front bumper, D1RC branded. You got some space here to add on some tow hooks. Here is our winch, little fair lead here. This is also metal components. It's like the cable's like nylon. We'll have to put a little worn winch thing here on it. We might have to hide this wiring here. You can see the little wires. But otherwise, yeah, this is going to be a plastic molded hard body. We have our limb risers here. A little faux snorkel, kind of neat. Lots of detail on the snorkel. You have a shovel here. I think this is also a spare leaf spring. This actually has oil-filled coilover shocks, but it has a faux leaf spring. I think that's kind of cool, funny. We also have plastic windshield wipers. Also neat that they did some pre-weathering for you. So you're gonna get sort of the highlights, the panel lines, even some like streaking here on the grommets. You also have the windshield wiper lines, kind of neat. One thing to mention though, so our hood actually does not pop open. I'm surprised because there's so many scale details here. You would think that they would have your hood pop open, but it actually doesn't. One thing I noticed is that some of the hardware, so like some of the screws here on our spare tire, actually came loose. I found a couple of these in the box. So one thing you might want to do, since there are a lot of metal components on this, is go through it and thread lock all the hardware. Sounds kind of tedious, but if you don't want to lose screws or you don't want your screws to back out, you might want to do that on all the hardware. Just thread lock it just to be safe. It also has this really nice metal cage here. So this is sort of like all one piece, our roof rack with this metal cage. Kind of neat here how our lights attach. Also, these window guards are metal and they come down. Pretty cool, pretty cool. There's even a cutout for the door handle, so the door handle fits in there. Little cutout. We have a scale interior in here. The doors also do not open, surprisingly. Doors don't open, but you do get like stickered interior. One of the stickers seems like it's coming loose in there, but we can fix that. All right, moving right along. Also metal window guards on the back windows. This is a Defender 90, so it's the two-door edition. I think they said that they also make the Defender 110, which is the four-door edition if you want. You're gonna get scale metal recovery ladders, one on each side, one over there. And also we have a bunch of accessories here on our roof. So I believe this is a tent or a sleeping pad. I'm not too sure what they use this for. I saw this in the videos in the documentary, but not too sure. Maybe it's a tent or something. And then we have these Pelican cases. So these are actually functional as well. You can open them up. Kind of neat. They really have thought through everything. So yeah, these are actually functional cases. They are glued on with hot glue, so you can see a little bit of residue here. This one actually came off when I got it from the package. One of them was dislodged. Honestly, not a big deal. I'm probably going to goop these back on. But yeah, they snap shut. So that one's a little loose. These are all attached already. So our tires, these are ScaleMaster AT D1RC branded. I saw in the documentary that they use like really narrow tires, so these are going to be pretty scale. I'm not sure if ScaleMaster ATs are actually a real tire. We're going to have to look that up. One thing that's kind of cool, I noticed there's this little rubber cap over your wheel nut, so you kind of just pull that right off. Kind of neat. These feel like stamped steel beadlocks, painted yellow. These are also vented. There's a little tiny hole right there. So if you don't want them vented, you can cover that up with some tape. Then there's a little hex adapter. Be careful if you take off your wheels. This little pin can just fall right out. So be aware of that. Another little case here. We got 4 gas cans. So these gas cans actually came separately in the foam packaging. So they're all individual ones. They can be taken out. They have this little clamp here that you can clamp them onto the metal rack. Nice and tight there. Got another Camel Spirit logo. One thing, this ladder, I don't know what people are going to be doing in like the jungle with a A-frame ladder. So kind of weird, not too sure about that. I know that the ladder on the back is to like access all the stuff on your roof, but I don't know if they actually used like home ladders like that. Who knows? Another set of window guards on the back. Another spare tire here. A back door, also non-functional door. And this is actually a functional high lift jack. So it actually works. Pretty cool. All metal as well. And the driver's side. Little steering wheel turns. I don't know if it turns with the wheel. We'll have to check. And these vents here are actually, you can see through them. So see my finger through there. There's also some see-through vents here on the top. So now let's take a look at the interior. To access the internal electronics, you're going to have to unhook our limb risers, which are on a little spring thing here. So we're gonna unhook that one and unhook the other one, and it just should pop off. So you flip it up and it's on a hinge back here. Oops, so one of our Pelican cases that's detached just fell off. Put that aside for now. So it's on a nice little metal pivot hinge here. Now let's talk about the chassis. So it says that it comes with carbon fiber chassis rails. So to me, this does look like carbon fiber. I'm not an expert, but it appears to be carbon fiber rails. Kind of nice. You're going to get a metal battery tray, D1RC branded. This is going to be more towards the rear of the truck. So there's actually no battery straps, but it does snap in like a hard pack. Basically just snaps in and it'll hold that in place. This is the 2S LiPo from Spectrum, 4000 milliamp. And it actually comes with an XT60 because I'm running one of the smart batteries with IC3 connectors. I just have a little adapter. Somewhat complex wiring. It's already done for you. All you have to do is add your receiver and plug in your ports 1, 2, and 3 for your motor, your steering servo, and your winch into aux 1. But some stuff actually is getting power directly from the battery, so you can see a lot of stuff's wired through here. So that's going to run off of higher voltage. So our axles are actually all metal axles. They look very heavy duty, all metal components, very impressive. These are also going to be locked front and rear diffs. Looks like they're nicely greased in there. If you want to take them out, I think we're gonna have to take off 4 of these screws, but the diff cover is basically held on by a bunch of tiny little screws here. So I'm surprised that, that holds this on. Be careful that you don't strip any of those, otherwise you're gonna be kind of screwed, but yeah, looks nice. Don't know too much about this transmission, actually, but it is a metal case. Also a metal transfer case here in the middle. Looks like our drive shafts are also metal, kind of neat. For our motor ESC, this is actually a Hobbywing Fusion 2-in-1 motor ESC combo. You don't see any speed control here. Everything's integrated in this one motor can unit. This is actually 1800 kV, 540 size motor ESC. If you haven't seen my Hobbywing Fusion 2-in-1 video, I'll put a link to that up here. Check it out. I love this motor ESC combo. It's going to be 2 and 3S LiPo battery compatible. Lots of tunability. If you have a Hobbywing programming card, you can use that to program this. This is just a custom branded one. I think it looks kind of cool in black. The on and off switch is going to be under here. This is going to be a censored combo, so you're not going to get any cogging when you start up. It's going to be very nice and smooth. Check out my Hobbywing Fusion video if you want to see all the details about that. This comes with 2 servos. Our steering servo up here is the 45 kilogram servo. This is actually quite a heavy rig, definitely not light. You're gonna need a servo with some high torque. I think 45 kilograms is gonna be plenty. This is also a waterproof servo. We also have metal front steering links and a metal servo horn. It is a little loud, but something I can deal with, not a big deal. This rig also comes with 2-speed shifting, kind of cool. Here's our micro servo, also waterproof. Kind of a neat shifting mechanism here. This servo saver comes with a little spring mechanism. That's definitely going to protect your servo from overextending. I've seen that at other rigs. If you don't have it set completely perfectly, it is going to put a lot of pressure on that servo arm and you can blow your servos quickly. This one is kind of interesting. Never seen it before. We'll test it out. Looks like it's going to be nice and protective. All right, here we have the low speed. We're gonna go full speed, low speed. Whee! Bring it around. Full speed ahead. All right, now we're gonna do our high speed. Whee! This is high speed, top speed. Oopsies. All right, top speed coming back. So yeah, that's pretty fast. I'm actually probably gonna tone that down. You wanna be real careful when you're doing some high speed turns because this is definitely top heavy. For our suspension, we're going to have a 3-link front and a 4-link rear suspension. These are going to be oil-filled shocks. So they feel kind of nice and squishy. You're going to get some good body movement. Whee! It looks like it comes with a bleed screw as well. These are actually pretty big bore aluminum shock bodies. So you can adjust the threaded collar here. And the little cups down there, those are also, I believe, aluminum. Shock towers are also metal. This also has a functional winch on the front here. Unbranded, I'm not too sure who makes this, but you're gonna have to get a wired winch controller. So I will also put a link to my wired winch controller video from RC 4-Wheel Drive. You get a separate winch control unit and you can link that to a spare channel on your transmitter and control it remotely with the push of a button. I'll link to my video where I talk about setting that up. Also, full light kit comes included, fully wired for you. You're gonna get front headlights. Those are linked to your throttle, so when you throttle up, the front headlights go on. I think that's kind of weird. I'd prefer them to be on all the time. I might end up swapping out to a Mitric RC Dragon controller so I can control it from my transmitter and override the on-off throttle control. It also has blinkers, another thing that I'm going to try and override. I think it's a little distracting, especially when you're trying to do like scaled trail videos and you have blinkers going on and off. It's kind of weird. You're also going to get 6 front spotlights here. You're going to get 1 spotlight on the back. Those are on all the time. Our rear lights are also linked to our throttle, so when you reverse, those are going to turn on. All right, so let's add our battery. Let's turn this on. And I'm running a Spectrum DX5 Pro. Our on and off switch is actually under the rig right here, so we're going to turn this on. All right. So all in all, what do I think about this tiny truck? I am super impressed with all the details on the body. If you are a Land Rover Defender fan, which I am, this is definitely one you want to check out. Lots of metal components, really nice quality, really nice electronics as well. It's a little touchy on the steering. I would actually prefer maybe a little bit slower of a servo. Nice torque though, could definitely handle that. Does come with a price tag, so I think it's going to be sort of inaccessible for a lot of people. Doesn't come with a lot of instruction, so the instruction pack is pretty basic. I'll check in about parts availability, unsure about that as well. It's also not going to be an insane crawler. It's more for that scale detail, tended to high center on a lot of stuff, so it doesn't have a lot of ground clearance. It does ship from China. Took about a week and a half to get here. You do get tracking through DHL. I had a lot of fun testing this out though. Huge thank you to D1RC for sending one of these out to my channel. Definitely going to be a showpiece. Huge thank you to all my patrons on Patreon as well for your continued support. As always, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you later.